Our last example then asks us to look at the information and come up with the equation of a line. Use the clues that are given in the question to come up with the equation of our line. So in this case, we're asked to find a parametric equation, and we know that it's perpendicular to L, this big long equation here, and it goes through a point. The two things we need to find equations of lines is a point and a direction vector. Well, good news is we have a really good clue right there to get our point. So we've got a point, it's given to us. So not much investigating required to get that point. What is required though is to look at this big long line here and pull out information from it. If we want a line that's perpendicular to this guy, we don't care about the point, we care about the direction vector. And the direction vector is right there. So the direction vector of this line is 2, -3, 2, -1, 3. And so our line isn't the same as that. I could have asked for one that's parallel to this, and we just use the same direction vector, but I'm asking for a perpendicular direction vector. And so we'll use our little shortcut from last unit to pick two of them, switch them, make one of them negative, and make the third component 0. Now there's no right or wrong way to do this. This is where it gets a little bit challenging for me, because you could pick a different direction vector than I will, and you'd still be totally right. I'm going to just switch the first two, and I'm going to make this negative become a positive. Oops. And then I'm going to make my Z component 0. Of course, you could have switched the first two and make the 2 negative. Or you could have switched the first and the third, put a 0 in the middle, and make the first negative. All of these would be correct direction vectors. And your equation of the line will look a little bit different than mine because it has different direction vectors. But as long as you pick one of these ones here, you can also do any scalar multiple in the world. So you could be crazy and pick any scalar multiple of one of these, and you'd still be correct. But I'm going to try and stick with the one easy one. Just switch the first two, make the -1 negative so it becomes positive, and make the Z component 0. Now I've got the two things I need, a direction vector and a point, so I can take those and put it in the proper form. This is asking for the parametric, so that's my x, y, z. The x comes from the x there, plus a scalar multiple of the direction vector, so -3 plus 1t. Point is 1, direction vector plus 2t. 8, and there, so that's just 8. You could write 0t, but it's not necessary. And I could have used k as the letter as well. It just seems like every time we do parametric we use a t, but that's not a rule. Okay, so that's enough for you to practice. This is all now about practice, so you want to make sure you do that practice. So like yesterday, I'm going to choose on page 175, number 1 to 10, I'm going to put selected. You could, so as I suggested before, maybe just do the C part in each one of these, maybe one or two of them. Enough practice that you feel comfortable with doing this. These 2 days are a big chunk of our test. We've got to get comfortable with these lines and all the different variations of them and how to pull direction vectors and points off of them. So the more practice you do with these, the better. Good luck.